Okay guys, I'm back. I beat another game while we were playing stuff over Christmas break and whatnot. And this time I did Going Medieval, which somebody recommended from one of the other videos, believe it or not. This was recommended by Joe Hay 0055, however you want to say that. Oh, and this one, you really got it. You really got me with this one. This was recommended from the Kingdoms and Castles video, and I mentioned that I really like these town ones where I get really lost in building my little town and city and whatnot, and this one really got me with that, where I played this for far too long right out of the gate. If I had to say that there's a bit of an issue with this, it's that the controls and like what you're capable of doing are not exactly very clear at the beginning, and you kind of have to fiddle around with it to figure out what everything actually does. They could probably stand to have a little better of a tutorial, maybe, but once you get used to it, it's really not that bad at all. I really like that you can build your own like house, like your own custom size house. You just build walls and then you can add a roof. And you could build whatever you really seem to want to put together. And you have way more flexibility with that. And compared to Kingdoms and Castles, it's very specific about you only have these settlers and they're named and they have specific skills, and you really do not want them to die. You don't want to lose them because the longer you keep them, the better they are. And I like that, because that other one, it didn't really matter what all the little people were doing, because you had, 100, 1,000, 5,000 of them. And this, you really have I started with 3. I didn't look at all the settings, but I started with 3 people. And I kept probably just the one of the 3, because I believe the other 2 were killed over the time of me playing it, which made me sad. But I like the stockpile. I like it had the similarities in like you gotta have them cut down some trees so you can have wood so you can break other stuff. That's relatively typical, I think, for these kind of games, but this has a lot more Minecraft-y block customization and how you want to handle things. For example, well, not an example of that, just an example. If you want the meat to last longer, you want the food to last longer, you can store it underground. And then if you get the ice blocks, you can put the ice blocks in the room to lower the temperature so that the food preserves better. Or you could smoke the meat, or there's a bunch of different ways to solve your problems, and it's just kind of up to you how you want to deal with it. I played this on probably normal, and I started to run into a lot of trouble with the bandits, because they could just raid your place, or people might escape bandits and then ask you for a place to stay, and they're going to come looking for them later, and you'll probably have to fight them off if you want them to stay with you. But I don't know whether the video that I include with this is going to show it or not, but my solution up to a threshold was that if you dig a moat around your entire like walled city, they seem to be very specific that they go to your doors. So if you limit your entrances, and then if you know they're going to come, you could just break the bridge. Like you could just demolish a bridge leading to your town and they won't be able to get in. And then they just kind of mill about before they leave. Another solution was that I built like a kill box, and I reinforced many of the doors leading up to where that is, and I just created a really long path, because when they come to attack you, they seem like they specifically want to go after your people, and they're not as dedicated to destroying your things as they are killing all of your people. So if you move all of your people up to like your special box where your archery cage or whatever you made, they have to go through a really long pathway to get to them, and the whole time you can just shoot arrows at them, and it really helped to get rid of the threats, because I stopped losing people and I could really fight them if I wanted to. But I believe once you get something like 10 people, depending on what difficulty you're on, they started to use catapults, and that was really started to break a lot of stuff. And I think at one time I lost like 5 people in one raid, and I was really upset about that because I didn't know that they were going to start throwing catapults. But otherwise, I mean, achievement-wise, you only need to get up to 10 people, which will take a while, but it's not a big deal. You can do it if you structure your town in a way that the bandits can't just run in and kill everybody they want. It's fine. It's not that bad. So yeah, before I keep going, this was a good recommendation. I do really like this, despite it being in like an pre-alpha stage. I thought this was really fun, and definitely worth the like $20-some I paid for this. I had a lot of fun with this. As far as achievements go, I think it's worth noting that the least accessible, what word do I want? The least achieved achievement globally on Steam, 18.5% of players have. For the most part, all of the achievements on this game are incredibly easy to do by just playing the game the way you want to play the game. For the most part, nearly all of them will just happen. You would have to really screw up to not get something. I mean, usually when you see difficult games, you know, the least acquired achievement is something like 2% or 0.02% or whatever. They're 1% or lower in that range, and that's when you start to see that stuff's really kind of hard to do. I've never seen one where the easiest is like the hardest is 18.5% of people that have it. That's ridiculous. And now I know why. Most of them are just stuff you would do. You would just end up doing. For example, you need you'd beat all of the, what am I talking about? Clear the seasons. It would be to play the game for 1 full year, which admittedly takes a bit of a time because these seasons are not joking. They take a long time to get through, even at triple speed or 5 times speed. But you don't exactly get raided all the time, and I'm pretty sure you could just put this on the easiest setting possible, and then you don't need to worry about any of that. Well, there is one to kill a raider. Retribution is to kill a raider, so I don't think you'll get that on the easy one, but just put it on normal and you can do it. It's fine. You can do it. The ones that I didn't have at the end, after I just did everything kind of natively, was I didn't have the one for dismantling items, because I just wasn't dismantling items, and I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know how to do it. And once you set up the like guideline to break stuff that's under a certain quality threshold so that you can just have more resources, it'll happen. It's good. You just have to actually do it and know that it's there. Most of the tables that build things probably have the ability to do it, like the woodworking table or like the kiln. One of the things, I don't remember. The other thing I didn't have was the rabbits, was just hunting 20 rabbits. And I figured out later that I think it's because the wolves will kill them. So I just broke down and I just started hunting every single animal on the map all at once. And just in case you do the same thing that I did, don't actually look for them on the map to click them. You go up to the little animal tab at the top and then you can click them from there. Because I didn't figure that out until like 12 hours into the game. Because, well, it didn't tell me about it. I didn't know. I just didn't look at it at all. But yeah, I mean, most of the achievements not very hard to do. I'd say just if you want to play a game that's very Kingdoms and Castles, then Joe Hay definitely got this one right. Steam also recommends Timberborn, which I haven't played but I know is good, and it's very similar to these, you know, sim building whatever games. This was good, and if you want relatively simple achievements that only need to happen by playing the game the way that you could just play the game and then clean up a little bit on the same save file, there you go. Right? It's you got it. That's it. It's right there. But now that we're at the end of the video, probably, or I don't have anything else to add, if you have another game that you want to recommend, and I'm not particular to a certain genre, you can give me whatever you want. Just send me a comment, put a comment down, I guess. Give me recommendations. I want to see some more stuff like this. But I'm broke, to be honest. Don't send me stuff that's like $40, because there's no guarantee I'm going to buy it, but I will definitely look at it. At least. I'll like wish list it and we'll see if it comes up under sale and we'll get it later maybe. But hey, that's the rest of this. Get out of here or watch another video. Do something. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Okay, I'm out.